Alright, guys. Well, after the very spicy fade to black last time, I have some interesting news to report. I'm actually in chapter 8, and this is like after the thing with T and after getting Lucas on our team and all that shenanigery, okay? The whole jealousy arc, blah blah blah. Which is what I want to comment on, actually. So after the spicy fade to black, there is no acknowledgement of the spicy fade to black. Like, not even the morning after. It's the same old words. I could skip through it. We've read them before. Nothing is said between Jed and Lavan. Um, our girl still has the spicy dream about Lucas. Francisca still asks her if she's in love with Lucas. And she still gets jealous about Lucas. So I'm feeling a bit bad for Lavan, honestly. Because, like, that whole build-up to that was very satisfying. But then the story's like, and now we go back to the Lucas track. And I'm like, huh, okay. And so, yeah, nothing major has happened with Lavan since that moment. So that's why I skipped a bunch of stuff again, because there was no need to rehash. But anyway, now we have a chance to go talk with him again, because last time we talked to Hugh, and he told us the story of the black butterfly. But we don't need to do that right now, so let's go see if maybe we'll have some acknowledgement of what went down between these two in some fashion. We won't bring up the spicy dream about Lucas, hopefully. That'd be awkward. Where was Lavan? Hello? It's a small church. I looked around the chapel, but didn't see him. Did he return to his room? What should I do? It might be annoying to visit him now all of a sudden, but after some more hesitation, I arrived at Lavan's room.
Who's there?
It's me, Jed.
Jed?
I know, we haven't talked in a while.
What's the matter? Did something happen?
No, it's nothing much. What should I do? I did come to his room, but I didn't have anything particular to talk about.
It's fine. Just sit down.
I stood there without saying anything, and he urged me to sit. I didn't know why I felt so nervous. I could think of a couple of reasons. Lavan sat down on the bed on the opposite side. Although I found a seat, the awkward silence continued. I'd better talk about something. I started to go from being hesitant to being flustered. That was when I heard Lavan laugh a little.
Jeez. You're always like this.
Huh?
If you're gonna get that nervous, you should have thought of a reason to talk before coming here.
Sorry.
No, I should be.
Lavan smiled as he usually did. That was enough to help me relax. The awkward silence turned into something more familiar. I looked down at my folded hands in my lap while Lavan slowly began to speak. Oh, okay. Sure, let's talk about that.
I talked about my father before, didn't I?
The Lord of the Wolves.
Yes. I received this ring from him.
Lavan took off the chain around his neck to show the ring he hid under his clothes. It didn't appear clouded, but it still gave off a bewitching glow.
Ever since I inherited this ring, I was bound by the family of the wolves. No, by my father. That's why I cannot let go of this.
Lavan said it was dangerous to assume everything was the fault of the magical stone, but this must have been the real reason why. Lavan's expression was grim when he looked at the ring. His feelings of impatience were almost palpable.
If we kill Olgar tomorrow, the town will change.
Lavan looked up.
And then we can rebuild anew. I will protect that town. If I can do something our clan never has done before, I think I can finally call myself the lord of that clan. I can throw my father into the past.
His last words almost sounded like a wish.
I'm sorry. I made you listen to this.
No, it's all right. Thank you for telling me. This hazy feeling inside seemed to have cleared up. We all had things we held dear. Just reconfirming that was good enough for me. Lavan, I'm sure you'll become a great lord that everyone trusts. They were words that came from my heart. Lavan paused a little before smiling. I was sure he could protect this town. If I could assist him in that process, I would help in any way I could. That was what I thought.
Nods in a friendly manner. Good talk, bro, good. Alright, we're just not gonna acknowledge things still, that's fine. Let's start skipping ahead again. Because now it's time for the battle with dear old dad. So, we'll go and run in and do that. And then we don't have to do the flashback with Afris and Olgar at least, so that's something. Okay, so don't kill him. Lavan is right, the town will change a little if we killed him, but we've already done that ending. So, we're not killing this boy. We don't really have to rehash any of this, I don't think. I think we're good. Why don't you guys hang out with me? This shouldn't take long. There's not, like, a lot of choices in this little biddy with everybody. And then you can all look at these cute cuties. Yes. They were cute cuties back then, weren't they? I mean, he was exactly the same, but everybody else was kind of cute cuties. Right, so... what exactly is going to transpire from this? I mean, I gotta avoid, like, other endings, basically. Like, don't run away with Ashen Hawk. Don't kill my dad. Don't do this, don't do that. There is that extra map at the end where we had talks with different characters, so maybe that's where we get our ending from, is hanging out with Lavan at that point and picking the option for that. That would make sense, actually. It's been a couple runs since I've been there, so I kind of forgot about it. Alright, we're out of flashback zone. And my boy's trying to defend me, and then I get taken away. Alright, now we're in the attic. Oh right, I also have to remember that this was reality. Before Francisca shows up and places me in the abyss. Don't want to do that either. Okay. Sorry, Ashen Hawk. Not your ending anymore. Never again. No more running away. Okay, so now he's gone. Time to take a... let's see, should I do anything with this? They're basically just gonna be like, she's not a witch! Leave her alone! And then I'm gonna get stoned. Yeah. Oh yeah, Levi was the one who's like, Jad, I'll save you! I might go through that bit for Levi's route next time. Levi's route should be interesting. Alright, so... is this like a Hugh? Maybe this is the Hugh end. Anyway, no running. Gotta find my boy. Gotta get out of here and find him. I forgot that he transformed into us. Man, I just like blocked so much of this ending out. Okay, so now we're free to go. Let's see what we're gonna do. So the church has these three goobers. Levi's in the West Alley. Lucas is in the Snowdrop Field. Oh yeah, I forgot Ashen Hawk is here. Unclear?
Do I have to clear all of these? Hold on. Oops, hold on. Oops, I keep forgetting about that. Eh. Okay, so to the square is the Lavan thingy. Okay. Let's just do this and see what happens. If we don't have to do the other stuff, that's great. If we can do this and then just go back to the main story, I'm okay with that. Alright. Little bit of experimentation here. I'm a little bit in uncharted waters, so we'll see. More time passed, and the number of people in the town square was diminishing. I was now the only one there. I never realized how big the town square was. I remembered when it was filled with people during the day. There were other times when the town square would be completely packed. Like the day of the masquerade, when people celebrated spring and laughed from the bottom of their hearts. Those warm memories seemed so far away. But now...
Jed?
Because of my reminiscing, I didn't realize someone had approached me. That familiar person called me Jed despite my dressing up as a woman. Lavan.
How are you here? Did you manage to run away?
Yes. Only for a short while. There is a person acting as my double.
I see.
Lavan gave a sigh of relief, but at the same time... I will grab your hands and pull you into a harlequin romance novel pose, and everything will be fine. He pulled me close with force. Lavan?
I'm sorry. I couldn't do anything.
You couldn't help it. Not in that situation.
I couldn't protect you. You were so close, and yet I...
Lavan's voice was shaking slightly. Was he mortified? Or was he... I couldn't move my hands, so instead I gently rubbed Lavan's fingers with my mine. I tried to help him relax just a little. His embrace loosened.
I'm sorry.
You don't need to apologize.
But I...
If you did anything, it would start up another battle between the wolves and hawks. I'm glad you remained patient.
I am the Lord of the Wolves.
Yes.
But none of that matters. When it can't even protect the one I want to most.
Lavan?
For the clan. For the town. But in the truest sense, for me to become the Lord. I almost lost you because of that.
Lavan held my hand with both of his ever so gently. It hurts. It didn't actually hurt at all.
I don't want to let you go.
He wouldn't let go, and I didn't try to push him away. We held hands as I looked upon Lavan's serious face. I couldn't take my eyes off him. Hey, there it is!
I love you.
I was at a loss for words. I didn't have an answer to that confession yet. I mean, I thought we kind of answered it a while ago, but apparently that was all in my mind. I hadn't decided on what I wanted to do with the town, and yet... Lavan gripped my hand even tighter. This time it really hurt, but I still didn't want to let him go. His passion flowed through me along with his pain.
I've supported my clan for the sake of the clan, until today. But I will throw all of that away.
Don't say that. Contrary to my words, my heart shook. He weighed the importance between the townspeople and me, and he chose me. Yep, that's his character journey. Went from, like, duty to the town and being the lord to choosing the woman he loves in the end. While I couldn't come to a decision, Lavan gave me the answer.
Just like the man I despised. I may be irresponsible and selfish.
Oh, I understand now. Now I get it. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay. So what before, when you're like... When I was asking, how does falling in love with someone equate to being like your father? It's because in his mind, it's love or the town. The two cannot be reconciled together. So if he chooses Jed, then he can't fulfill his duty to the town and be what his father could not be. Interesting. Okay. I get that. But you're missing the point. I mean, now that is probably the case. He probably can't choose his duty to the town and his love for Jed, because the town wants to kill her. But beforehand, he probably could have had his cake and eaten it too. But that time has long passed, so anyway, now I'm finally on track with this boy. Thank you for explaining.
But I want to be honest about my own feelings. I want to show you everything that I am. I don't care about this town or my title. You're more important to me than any of that.
The person in front of me cared for me more than the entire town. He was depended upon by so many people. He was someone I respected since I was a child. He was like an older brother to me. This guy is so firmly in the bro zone, it's painful. I wanted to answer to Lavan's feelings, but I couldn't. Two conflicting emotions arose. Yeah, do you remember when you guys smooched and things, though? Girl? I could choose to accept Lavan's feelings, and we could choose a path of happiness together. Was it a bad thing for me to choose that? Would that choice really be the wrong one?
I will not let anyone call you a witch, at any cost. If this town or world persists that way, to call you a witch and to reject you, I have no need for it!
His cry was filled with fierce emotion. My answer to him. You know, just do the bro nod, like we did when we visited him in his room. Man, this boy out here laying his heart out for you, and you're just like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Jed, please. Please say something equally passionate back. This boy needs something. Instead of answering, I nodded. Thank you, Lavan. He said he would throw everything away he held dear for my sake.
Jed.
How happy would I be if I was able to live with Lavan? But right now, please let me think on my own. My heart did move for him. I nodded back at Lavan's words. But I had no idea what this emotion was that I was feeling. I had to think more, in order for me to answer his feelings honestly. I have to go.
Wait. If you go back...
There's someone taking my place there. I can't just leave.
I'll do something about this. I'll at least get you out of there.
I know you will, buddy. I left Lavan after he made that bold statement. I knew if I stayed with him any longer, my resolve would waver. He said that he would throw away this town and even the entire world. Lavan didn't know. In order to end this world, I would have to end my own life. What would Lavan say if I told him? Would he object to my discarding my life? I had a feeling he would stop me. Knowing how Lavan felt made me so happy and sad at the same time. But That's true. I did forget the one niggling little problem of Hugh was like, if you want to end this eternal winter, you gotta kill yourself. And I'm still not convinced that is actually the solution, which is probably why my brain was like, nope, don't need that information. We're just gonna chuck that away real quick. Okay. It does let us continue. Cool. I should be able to just play from here, hopefully. I met those I wanted to meet. I talked to those I wanted to talk to. All that was left is for me to decide. What should I do with the town? What did the people living in this town want? Now we have a choice. Okay, I think if I did I can't decide, that leads to the Wolf Brothers ending, and we're not doing that again. So. Sorry, Hugh. Okay, and just like that, chapter 10. Yeah, well, she's thinking of Lavan. Okay. I think we're on the right track then. Lavan.
I will do whatever is necessary to forbid anyone from calling you a witch. A town that calls you a witch and shuns you should not be allowed to exist!
He said that for me. I was moved by his words, and before I knew it, was nodding in agreement. Rather than release this world, I wanted to be with Lavan. Why did I? If I were to do something for his sake, what would be the next step for me to take? I don't know the answer to that yet. I didn't remember how I returned to the jail cell or what I talked about with Hugh when he welcomed me back. My mind was completely preoccupied. I tried to think back to what happened today, but all I could remember was Lavan. What should I do? What did I even want to do? I seemed to go around in circles asking myself these questions. What should I do? How should I do it? What should I do? So many triple dots. The boy's gonna have to come rescue your butt at this rate. Girl, I swear. That almost looks like sunshine coming through, which is impossible in this town. I came to my senses when I heard something hit against the bars. It seemed that I had fallen asleep. It was already morning. My mind was still in a haze. How long had I slept?
Get out.
Huh?
Are you still asleep? Hurry!
The bars were open. Was I allowed to leave? Or were they taking me somewhere else?
Hurry it up!
It seemed it was the latter. The guard came into my cell and tied my hands behind my back while pushing me out. The pain in my wrists gradually cleared my mind. Where are we going?
Shut up and walk.
It seemed to be a waste of time to even ask. I had no choice but to do as they said. I wondered if I would be taken to the town square again to get jeered at. But that worry was in vain. We walked through the back alleys, away from prying eyes. They never mentioned where I was going, but I could tell from the general direction. The dwellings of the wolf faction were up ahead, but why were we going there? Suspicious. Where am I? I doubted my eyes for a second. I realized I had returned to Francisca's manor. I was wondering about that. I'm like, but it burned down. But the manor had burned down. The building in front of me looked so familiar, but the details were different. But still, it looked so familiar to the manor where I lived with Francisca when I was a child.
I didn't think they'd build so many manors that looked the same. I never understood what the rich were thinking.
Oh, that's right. This was a villa that Francisca used. Convenient to introduce that now at this point in the story. It wasn't the same as that manor. Although I felt saddened by the realization, seeing it still made me happy. It felt like the things I wanted to protect were still here.
Stop staring and get in.
I felt lighter as I stepped inside the manor. But why did they bring me here? Okay, similar. Doesn't have the wolf statue in the center, though.
I'm coming in.
Since the exterior was the same, it wasn't a surprise that the interior looked familiar, too. I went through the entrance and arrived at the door to the living room. Huh. It's actually pretty cool that they took, like, the same backgrounds, but changed some details. That's nice. That's a very nice touch that they went to be like, it's the same, but a little bit different.
Judd!
Lavan? That's right. This was the villa of the Lord of the Wolves, so Lavan owned it now. Lavan ran over to untie me.
I'm sorry you had to go through this.
You don't need to apologize. I was tied up quite tightly, so Lavan had trouble unraveling the ropes. I finally realized that there were other people in the room.
I've brought her. Good work. You may leave.
Lucas is here too? Okay.
Yes, sir.
It was Lucas. It wasn't just Lucas. There were other people lined up behind him. I didn't remember everyone exactly, but they seemed to be with the Hawk clan.
All right. It's untied.
Thanks. Lavan? What's going on?
Don't worry. You don't need to do a thing.
He said that, but I was still nervous considering the situation. In contrast to Lucas, there was no one with Lavan. He was the only one from the Wolf clan. I had no idea what was about to take place and why I was brought here.
As demanded, the prisoner witch has been brought. Now let's hear your side, Lord of the Wolves.
I'm starting to get a really bad feeling. I'm gonna speak this into existence in case it comes true. I really hope it's not, because I'll be very upset. But why do I feel like a prisoner exchange is about to happen? Where Lavan's about to give Levi to Lucas in exchange for Jed. Why do I feel this so deeply in my soul? Because I know Levi would definitely give himself up for Jed. Because he's like, I've done terrible things. She's not a witch. Her and my brother can be happy together. I know it. I know it would happen. I'm just like, oh god, please. I'm so nervous that Levi is not in the room right now. I'm just like, oh no, oh no. Okay. Please don't manifest into reality. While I was still confused, they struck up a conversation.
First, I thank you for accepting my demands. I've prepared this place of negotiation for all of us today. Never mind the formalities. Get to the point. Then I'll be direct. I want you to release Judd.
I began to hear murmurs from behind Lucas. I was surprised too. I didn't think that demand would be accepted. Because
That woman is a witch. She is only suspected of being one. That is more than enough. If you release her, everyone in town will make an attempt on her life. It's for her own sake to remain captured.
His words might have been cold, but Lucas said up front that I was imprisoned for my own safety. I figured as much when he arrested us initially. I figured that was his way of being like, this is the only way I can save you right now, is to be like, she's in jail, don't worry guys, execution TBD. So, that doesn't surprise me. It's nice to have that confirmed though.
I'm surprised the Hawk Lord cares so much.
I think Lavan also understood Lucas's intentions, and yet he looked quite disgusted.
I simply don't want any more confusion or strife to come to the town.
I think he's just disgusted that you got to lock up Jed and he never got the chance to.
You and I have both just become the lords of our clans. There is no way we can garner support already. There's no need to worry about that. Jed is not a witch. On what evidence? Do you have proof to give peace of mind to the townspeople? I do.
He spoke with conviction. Did he really? I knew myself that I wasn't the kind of witch that people would need to fear. But there was no way to prove that. What does that prove? Okay.
Jed is my wife.
Huh? I managed to hold my voice, or rather, I was speechless out of surprise. What did Lavan just say? Did he just say I was his wife?
The wife of the Lord of the Wolves cannot be a witch.
On what grounds? Did you know that her mother was the wife of the Hawk Lord? I didn't mishear. True, this is actually more important than anything else. I'm Lavan's wife? What was going on? Why would Lavan say that? My mind couldn't keep up with the conversation. It was spinning around, my thoughts racing. I was sure I wasn't the only one feeling that way. Everyone else in the room must have been too. Surprised glances were exchanged as everyone looked at Lavan's and my face in succession, yet no one uttered a word. The long silence was broken by Lucas.
Is this true? It is. Jed and I have always had that relationship.
Huh.
If it weren't for the issue with my mother, our wedding would have already taken place.
Lucas looks so sad. Like, aw, man. I knew that was a lie. Lavan and I never had that kind of relationship, and there never were talks about a marriage. Okay, but what about the fade to black thing? What was that? Lavan was trying to overcome this predicament with lies so that he could save me?
The Hawk clan took the life of my mother. Do you intend to take the life of the current head's wife as well? That is not my intention. I cannot trust that. Despite our peace during the masquerade, it was only a few days before your clan attacked our manor.
Voices of protest were raised behind Lucas.
That is an insult! I have only stated the facts.
The previous Lord of the Wolves was suspected of being a witch. We had no choice.
And that suspicion alone, with no proof, caused our home to burn and our family to be murdered. Didn't the townspeople stand up to Olgar because they were angered at that?
That's because...
Mother was no witch, yet you murdered her. What next? You intend to murder my wife? On a baseless suspicion. You're repeating what you did with Mother!
Lavan's voice gradually filled with anger, which put an end to the protests.
I won't let you. Rather, I invite you to go ahead and try. If it ever were to come to that, I will massacre you and all of your families. The Clan of the Hawk will cease to exist!
Oh my.
The Clan of the Wolf will exact revenge at all costs!
The entire place was silent. Lavan was serious. Everyone, including myself, understood that. There were even some who looked pale out of fear.
Forgive me. It seems that I've gotten ahead of myself. So what is your answer? Will you release my wife right here and now? Before that, let me confirm with that woman if what you said is true.
Huh? Lucas was going to ask me himself. Everyone focused their attention on me. Well, great. Lucas's eyes seemed sad, while Lavan's were piercing. Great! We all knew what the truth actually was, but what was the answer I would give? I hesitated briefly, but there was nothing to think about. I already decided on this answer yesterday. I accepted Lavan's words and feelings. It wasn't that I was completely sure of it. I was still hesitant, of course, but I still had to say it aloud. To Lavan, and to everyone else here. It's true.
I see.
Lucas muttered, casting his eyes down. This is supposed to be Lavan's happy ending, and I'm over here with my heart breaking for Lucas. I mean, at least I can say Levi wasn't offered as, like, a sacrificial anything. So, I mean, that's good, but my heart's breaking over here for Lucas. Lavan's expression didn't change, but I felt that he seemed slightly more relaxed.
I'll ask you again. What is your answer as the Lord of the Hawks? I came here today as part of a negotiation, but did not expect to be threatened like this. That is not my intention. There will be no cooperation between us if my wife remains imprisoned. That is all. The cooperation of the wolves in exchange for a single woman. Are you not satisfied with that? I want to erase all sources of conflict from this town. That has always been our desire. Then, the witch, or rather, your wife, will be returned to you.
It seems as though the talks had concluded. Their negotiations were agreed upon here. In other words, Lavan's word and my answer too. I'm Lavan's wife. So, that was how it was now? It didn't feel real. I just stood there dumbfounded.
We'll excuse ourselves now. Oh, and although this goes without saying... What? If she really is your wife, then protect her this time.
Damn, Lucas had to get in that last bomb.
Yes. I swear on my life I will.
Lucas, I love you. After that exchange, Lucas and the other Hawks left the manor. Their footsteps soon faded, and the only ones left in the room were me and another person, who shall go unnamed.
Judd.
Hi. Yeah, you got me there, do you? He embraced me gently from behind, his arms consoling.
Thank goodness, you're back safely.
Yeah. It's all thanks to you, Lavan. I felt my voice crack. Was I the only one that was feeling nervous?
I'm sorry I said all of that.
It's alright.
It's only a formality. There's no need for you to really be my wife.
But... I didn't say that answer just to get out of that situation. Lavan moved away before I could continue. I felt warmth dissipating, leaving only the cold air behind. Lavan, I turned around to look at his face and found myself at a loss of words. That face wasn't the one I knew. It was like... Yes, he resembled Lucas? What is happening? It was like Lucas when he was acting as the heir to the Hawks. Lavan now had the same expression. Okay, I'm like, if he freaking morphed into Lucas, I'm gonna lose my mind. This ending is a roller coaster of emotions.
You can take advantage of the title of being the Lord's wife. That in itself will secure your safety.
Those were calculating words. Did Lavan say those things to me just for this? Was that why he called me his wife? But what about back then? I thought our hearts had grown closer yesterday, but he suddenly felt so far away.
Want to go outside?
Huh?
My words probably aren't enough to reassure you. You can go out there and see for yourself.
Lavan suggested that because he probably mistook my reaction. I didn't feel that way. There were too many things I was thinking about at that moment. And on top of that, the memory of being jeered at and stoned at the town square crossed my mind. After what happened...
Then let's go. Come on.
He grabbed my hand and pulled me along. It was as if he didn't care about how I felt.